Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Camila and this is Hasty Books, where I talk about books. And today I'm doing my Q1 check-in for 2022. And it's going to be kind of a mix of like just going over stats and goals, as well as the first quarter freakout tag. So I picked like some of the questions for that and included them in my video. Am I wearing the same shirt as my last video? Yes, because I'm filming them back to back. That's booktuber planning for you. Yes, sometimes I actually do that and I go and change my shirt, but I cannot be bothered right now. So I'm filming them straight through. We're powering through. Let's jump straight in to see how my month of January, February, and March have gone reading-wise. So how many books have I read in those 3 months? And yes, I had to go back and delete books off of my StoryGraph to make sure that I could actually pick the first 3 months stats. So I read 31 books in the first 3 months of the year, which I'm very pleased with. I had told myself at the beginning of the year that I would read less and more consciously. I don't feel like I've been doing that. I feel like I've been putting pressure on myself to just push and like do all of the goals and read all of the books. So I feel like I'm still pressuring myself. March was slower. I feel like April I was like, oh, I'll go with the flow. I've been reading a lot, so I don't know how much I've been going with the flow and how much I'm putting pressure on myself. I will learn my lesson one day. But yeah, I've read 31 books. That's about 10 books a month, so very good for me, I feel. So just over half of the book that I read were over 300 pages, which I'm very pleased with, because usually the more I read, the shorter the books are. So it's very nice to see that the majority were over 300, with a couple over 500 even. Although that includes Middlemarch, and technically I started that in 2021. So we can't really completely count it, you know. Of the 30 authors that I read, because I reread Virginia Woolf, so same author. So of the 30 authors that I read, there were 7 that were male and 23 that were female and non-binary. That's about a 25-75% split, so I feel like that's really good for me. I read authors from 14 different countries. As you may know, it's one of kind of like my broader goals to read around the world, and this wasn't me completely trying, so I'm glad that it just represents like that I'm trying to read from multiple countries. Obviously, I can see I'm from Canada and I live in the UK, and you know, my family is from Chile, so I feel like already I read from like a few different countries to start with. But you know, I'm trying to diversify even more. And talking about that, out of the 30 authors, 11 of them were authors of color, which I feel is like a third is not that great of a split. Also, I've been reading articles recently about how people really don't like the term like people of color and stuff like that. So I'm trying to find like new terms to talk about, just diversity and just like different people. But yeah, so I'm trying to think about that. But yeah, reading, I think I read about 19 authors that were white. So that's a bit much. I feel like I want to diversify, so I think I need to purposefully pick authors, you know, from different backgrounds. So that's something I'm going to work on. My top moods were reflective, emotional, challenging, mysterious, and dark. Yeah, that's really surprising, but those make up the majority of my reads. And I guess like a lot of the books that I started with are like the classics and a lot of like the darker mood ones, which I think is why I've been craving like lighter mood, more fun and more breezy reads. I'm hoping the summer, you know, for summer reads and stuff like that, it'll become a bit easier. But yeah, top genres were contemporary, literature, historical romance, and classics. I think this shows the spread of genres that I enjoy reading, but also that I've been trying to read, like with the classics there, with my classics goal, obviously. So only 10% of the books that I've read up to now this year have been nonfiction, which I think is quite low. I need to up my game a little bit on that, because I like it to be more like a quarter of the books that I read, but I think I only read like 3 books, so like yeah, 1 a month up to now, which isn't great. Another thing to work on. In the first quarter freakout tag, there's a question about which is your favorite book, or like which is your least favorite book. So my favorite and best book that I've read so far this year is definitely Open Water by Caleb Zuma Nelson. I did a whole video about it. You can go watch it and you can go read the book. I don't think you'll be disappointed, but yeah, I absolutely adored it. I think in close second might be Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. Really enjoyed that. It was really good. Very different genres there, but yeah, I really enjoyed both of these. Least favorite have to be Fear and Trembling by Emily Nothomb and The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. Really didn't enjoy that. Just two books that I kind of wish I hadn't bothered with, to be honest. And yeah, so that was kind of like a read over of my stats. And now we're going to go through my goals. So I made a goals video at the beginning of the year with 10 goals. Yes, I love to make lists. As if you've been following me, you know that. So let's see how I'm doing up to now. And as I said at the beginning, I'm a bit worried, but let's try. So the first goal that I had for 2022 was to read 75 books. As I've read 31 books in the first 3 months, I'm clearly on track to hit that goal probably over the summer. Even if my reading slows down, I feel like I'll definitely hit that goal. So I feel very pleased with that. Check, this one's good. Next one is lower my physical TBR by 25%. Okay, this is the bad one. This is the worst one, I believe. At the point where I made that list, I included reading 40 books. So that's like 10 books per quarter. It's not that much. That's feasible. I actually read 8 in the first quarter. So I was only missing 2. It's not that bad, especially because over the holidays, I usually read more physical books. So, you know, that's coming. So I feel like I'll be able to make up for that. But then in February, I bought 10 books and I got books as gifts. So I believe that I'm actually +2 in my physical shelf right now. Like I've added books to it. So it's not going well. And we'll see how I do in Q2. But I feel like this goal is going to just drop off the list, you know, just going to be ignored, but we'll see, and we'll catch up in the next quarter. Goal number 3 was to read 12 books from new to me countries, and I have been doing that and I am on track for that. I read books from Samoa, Uruguay, Uganda, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Jamaica, which are countries that I had never read authors that were from there before. I've been consciously trying to pick at least one a month, but it kind of ended up that I read more like 1 month. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that. It's going well. I'm on track, even I'm well ahead of schedule actually, really. So it's going well. Goal number 4 is to read at least 12 books in French. So that was 1 a month. And I'm 1 book behind. In March, I didn't read a book in French. But I'm not really worried because once I actually get to visit home, I don't know when that's going to be now, but when I actually get to go home, I feel like I'm going to read like probably quite a few books in French at that point. So I'll make up for all of that. It'll be fine. Goal number 5 was my whole classics thing, where I made a list of 22 classics to read in 2022. It's a whole theme, and it was over ambitious. I realized that, especially because my list actually had 23 or 24 titles anyway. I can't count clearly. Yeah, it's not going that great. 22 divided into 4 is about 5.5 books per quarter. I read only 3 technically from my list in the first quarter. So I read basically 1 a month. So I read 2 by Virginia Woolf and I read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I actually also read, obviously, The Sign of 4 by Arthur Conan Doyle, which is a classic, but that wasn't on my list, so I don't know if I should count it. I guess I should, because, well, these are just rules that I've made up. I can break them if I want. So yeah, I've technically read 4, so I'm still behind schedule, even counting Doyle. So yeah, I need to make up for that a little bit. But also, I feel like the classics are really heavy. Like, just reading all of Virginia Woolf was maybe a bit much, you know? Like, I'm learning as I'm going. We'll see. I'm planning on reading probably 1 again this month, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll catch up again for that one in the next quarter. Goal number 6 was to follow more book prizes, and I've definitely been doing that. If you've been following my channel, you'll have seen all the videos that I've made about a JAG Prize, the Women's Prize, the International Booker Prize. It's been really fun. I've not been very good at reading the book that much, but it's been really fun and a great addition, I feel like, to my channel. And I hope you agree as well. Goal number 7 was to get 1,000 subscribers. This is like very much like a broader year goal for BookTube. And I was like, oh, that'd be nice, you know? And I still hope to get to that. I unexpectedly got a shout out from an amazing booktuber, Olive from a Book Olive, and my subscribers went up massively. So I'm over 500 now. And thank you to all of you so much, like, for watching and for subscribing and for supporting me. It's really, I don't know, it's just, it warms my heart. It feels really good. And it's great to be sharing all this content with so many people, and I hope it'll keep growing. Goal number 8 was to do more buddy reads, which is a bit of a vague goal. I haven't done any yet, but I have a few coming up, so that's quite exciting, and I can't wait to be reading books along with all of you. Goal number 9 was to read the female winners of the Nobel Prize for Literature. So I haven't actually started on this one, but on the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day, I created a video which you could go and click and go and watch. And I created a challenge on StoryGraph to, you know, get people to join me. And I'm actually very surprised and pleased by how many people have joined already. And I will be properly starting on this challenge once I'm done with like the book prizes in May. So I have a couple lined up, especially like Gabriela Mistral and Toni Morrison. So I'm looking forward to getting started. And all the comments that I got on that video made me so excited for all of these authors. Like everyone mentioned like a different author that they'd read and they'd really enjoyed their book, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes me even more excited to pick them up and to discover them for myself. And finally, goal number 10 was to read more of specific authors. So that was Ali Smith, Elif Shafak, Bernardine Evaristo, Elena Ferrante, the Bronte sisters, and Virginia Woolf. And I think I've started actually on all of them except for Evaristo and Ferrante, but I have books by them on my TBR for the coming months. So I'm excited to keep going. I'm glad that I've actually like highlighted those authors for myself, and I'm trying to kind of read a few of their books this year, and I love them all. It's been going well up to now, so I'm glad. So this is how my 2022 is going reading wise. It definitely is bordering on the freak out tag because I am freaking out a little bit, but also I keep being like, no, you've created this for yourself. You know, it has to be fun. Stop freaking out. Stop putting pressure on yourself. I have a lot of these goals because that's something I want to be doing. So I need to remind myself I'm doing this because I want to, not because I have to. My husband always tries to remind me of that. So, you know, it's fun, and I'm enjoying discovering these new authors, new countries, new backgrounds, and just diversifying my reading list purposefully. And yeah, it's been good up to now. Some ups and some downs. I'm definitely learning, like with all these goals that I've put on myself, especially like with classics and stuff like that. I'm really learning like what I like and what I don't like, and I think I'll be readjusting goals, especially for next year, with that in mind. So yeah, this was my first like year like starting on BookTube and having goals, so I feel like, yeah, it's definitely a learning curve a little bit, but it's fun, and I enjoy making this video to see how my year is going and to see what I need to potentially prioritize if I'd like to you know, read some authors more and stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching. Don't hesitate to let me know in the comments below how your 2022 reading year is going. What's your favorite book of the year so far? I would love to get that recommendation straight from you. And if you have a video check-in for the first quarter, just let me know below. I would love to see it. And if you don't make videos or content, but you'd like to comment and be involved, check in below. Let me know how you're doing. You know, did you have goals? How many books did you want to read? How many have you read? Are you pleased? Are you disappointed? Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You know, I have to tell myself that, but I will tell you that as well. Read for fun and enjoy what you're doing. And as I'm saying this, I'm just wishing you a lovely day, a lovely evening or weekend, wherever you are. And hey, see you back. Bye.